Hey guys, I'm back. You can probably see by the title of this video what film I'm talking about. This film so happens to be one of my favorite films of all time, but before I get there, like this video, comment on this video, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to follow me on any other social media website, check the links in this video's bio. Follow me on Letterboxd, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and follow me anywhere else I have because, damn it, I'm a content making machine, and even though it's not the most well run machine at this point, I'm still a machine. So, anyway, let's dive into one of, in my opinion, the greater American masterpieces of the 1990s that also so happens to be one of my favorite films of all time. That is 1992's film Reservoir Dogs. It is Quentin Tarantino's first film ever directed, and my goodness, it is glorious. It features some of the greatest actors that we know today. Harvey Keitel, his most memorable performance, in my opinion. Steve Buscemi, a man who just gets into every film that he's in and destroys it. Whether he wants to do a great film, wants to do a bad film, he's great in all of them. We have Gone but Not Forgotten, his greatest performance, Chris Penn. We have the most underrated, perhaps, actor in the whole of Quentin Tarantino's filmography, Michael Mazdon. We also have Lawrence Tierney, who plays Joe Cabin in this film, who is a fucking tank and one of the best parts of this film, alongside Nice Guy Eddie. And then we even have minor characters of film like Randy Brooks, Kurt Baltz, who plays a tortured police officer, which is sickeningly enough one of my favorite parts of this film, despite how fucking horrendous it is to watch from a humane standpoint. But anyway, this film, if you don't know already, please click off, because if you don't know what I'm talking about in this video, just click off and watch the film and then come back to this video. I'll be here when you come back. I mean, it's only a 99-minute film, so it'll take you an hour and 29 minutes before you can get back to this video. But if you haven't watched this film, just fucking watch it. I mean, what are you doing? What other hobbies are you doing? What other downtime are you doing? Stop watching Love Island. Stop watching these bullshit ass shows. Watch some real shit. Put on Reservoir Dogs. Anyway, Reservoir Dogs. Quentin Tarantino's first film, and you can tell there can be a lot of improvements made in this film, but despite that being the known fact in this film, it is still masterful to me, and it's still his second best film ever made. And it's crazy because you watch this film and you notice the things he can improve upon in his later films, and he somehow does that 10 times over in his next film and creates his magnum opus and creates the greatest American film of all time in Pulp Fiction, which is insane. So he just goes back to back and creates masterpieces like we know him for. And these are his two best films ever, despite him creating absolutely masterful films later in his career, like Inglourious Basterds and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's a reason why this man is my favorite filmmaker of all time, and there's a reason why he is considered one of the greatest American filmmakers of all time. And there's a reason why this man is a huge part of my life and a huge influence, even though he doesn't even know me. So shout out Quentin Tarantino. Hey, maybe I see you one day. Hey, who knows? Anyway, speaking into the universe. Anyway, this film follows a botched armed robbery of a bank that goes horribly wrong, as the word botched would indicate. But anyway, the remaining bank robbers and the members of this crew return back to the warehouse. The first to arrive, the first three, let me say, is a dying Mr. Orange, Mr. White, and Mr. Pink. So that is Tim Roth, Steve Buscemi, and Harvey Keitel. And there's now a rumbling amongst the three. One who heavily believes, Mr. Pink, that that they were set up and there's an undercover cop working with them. Another is Mr. Orange's confidant and seemingly best friend in this point of the time, Mr. White, played by Harvey Keitel. And the other, Mr. Orange, is bleeding out. As spoiler alert, hopefully I don't need to say it because this is one of the most infamous films of all time. Mr. Orange, despite him bleeding out and getting shot in this robbery, he is the undercover cop. The whole dilemma in this film is perfect because Mr. Pink is thinking logically and perfectly and somehow he gets punched and nearly beat up by Mr. White for thinking logically and saying, hey, just because he's shy, he could be the undercover cop here. We were definitely set up. That alarm didn't set off and make the cops come. There were already a first batch of cops there. And then the whole, we don't even get to see the bank robbery scene, which is a beautiful touch in this film, because sometimes you don't need to see what actually unfolds. But I honestly think that might have been a decision due to budget, but who knows at this point. Either way, it would turn out to be a masterful choice. But, you know, later we are seen coming into the warehouse Mr. Blonde, who is now an infamous character, not only in bank robbery film history, but in the filmography of Quentin Tarantino. Michael Marsden. Let me get this off my chest for a little bit. Michael Marsden, one of the most underrated actors, not only in Quentin Tarantino's filmography, but maybe in the 90s and early 2000s. Like, the three Quentin Tarantino films he is in and that he is predominantly in and shown in is Hateful Eight, which he dominates, even though I think it's not one of Quentin Tarantino's best. He dominates in Kill Bill 2, which is a film that I really enjoy as the years go on. He is unbelievable and a scene stealer. And then Reservoir Dogs. Scene stealer, scene stealer. That's what Michael Madsen does. Not only does he bring this sense of badassery to this character and all the characters he plays, but goddamn it, he has a cinematic presence. And honestly, he's one of the big what ifs in film history, because if you guys don't know, maybe you heard on a different film podcast or stories you've read in the past or in the present, in the future, whatever. He was supposed to play Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction alongside Lawrence Fishburne, which is another big if that hopefully if I do a Pulp Fiction podcast we'll discuss. But he was supposed to be Vincent Vega, and I know he plays Vic Vega in this film, so that would have been weird. He would have played Vic Vega and Vincent Vega, but my God, what if he played John Travolta's part? I think John Travolta gives one of the greatest performances of the 90s, and honestly, one of my favorite performances of all time easily. So I don't see how Madsen would have played it as brilliantly as Travolta, but he was supposed to play Vincent Vega. So who knows what would have happened if he played it and actually did a great job, because that could have changed his whole career. He could have had the late career that John Travolta had, even though Travolta ends up fucking up his late career. But anyway, Michael Madsen. This dude shows up, and he clearly brings his best whenever Quentin Tarantino calls him up and asks him to play in one of his movies. So I love Michael Madsen, and the scene that he is most infamous for is in this movie where he is torturing this cop, Marvin Nash, and he cuts off his ear, tosses gasoline on him. I don't think I've watched it. I watched this movie hundreds of times already, but every time Mr. Blonde tosses that fucking gasoline on Marvin Nash's face and his open wound of a missing ear, I wince in pain, and I fucking scream and yell pretty much every time I watch it, because god damn it, that must fucking sting. And the way Mr. Blonde is rubbing it in, like he's telling him like, yo, I'm just torturing you, just to torture you. I fucking hate cops, pretty much is what he's telling him. Like, I'm not doing this to get any information out of you. I'm just doing this for fun. Those motherfuckers are gone. They went to go move the cars, motherfucker. I'm in here to torture you. And listen, I'm not rooting for what Mr. Blonde does. That's one of the only times in the film where I'm not rooting for these criminals to succeed in this. And then we get this big reveal, which is not a big reveal if you've already seen the film. But when I first watched the film, I remember being shocked by it, especially since I didn't read the synopsis of the film or anything. But as Mr. Blonde is ready to light Marvin Nash on fire, out of nowhere, the deathly, who seems pretty much dead, Mr. Orange, ups the firearm on Mr. Blonde and kills him. And there's this great scene between Marvin Nash and Mr. Orange where Mr. Orange is telling Marvin Nash, like, I'm a cop, like, I am undercover. And Marvin Nash is like, yeah, I know, I just didn't want to say anything, like, I met you 5 months ago. And me, as a moviegoer, I'm like, as I know as a person, I'm like, I would have gave up this information. I'm not a criminal. I would have gave up this information before they cut off my ear. I know they probably would have killed me anyway because I see their faces, but I'm fucking saying something. I'm telling them, all right. I know who this fucking guy next to me. I'm not getting my ear cut off. I'm not looking deformed. And then this beautiful diopter shot, which I think is how it's pronounced. If I didn't pronounce it right, go fuck yourself. Don't correct me. Anyway, there's this great diopter shot where you see the split screen of Mr. Orange and Marvin Nash talking to each other, and Marvin Nash, ear cut off and all, asks Mr. Orange, "How do I look?" And Mr. Orange, on his deathbed pretty much, has to stop himself from laughing. He's like, "What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you?" And Marvin Nash just unleashes this, "I'm deformed. He cut my fucking ear off, man." And then Mr. Orange is like, "I'm fucking dying over here. I'm fucking dying over here." And Mr. Orange tells Marvin Nash, like, they're a block away. They're waiting for Joe to come. He's like, "A block away? What the fuck are they waiting for?" And it's one of my favorite parts of the film because even though I've never been in the situation as Marvin Nash and Mr. Orange, there's a sense of relatability that Quentin Tarantino creates where I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are they waiting for? My ear is cut off. One of our fucking cops undercover, important in this big case, is waiting. I'm fucking dying over here. And that whole realistic nature of that scene is beautiful. Even though I'm not a criminal, anyone who's been watching this video hopefully is not a criminal, but the relatability that Quentin Tarantino forms in his filmmaking and the dialogue that he curates is second to none, in my opinion. Like, the situation that he creates and conceptualizes and the worlds that we are thrown into, despite how foreign they are in terms of the world of crime and criminality, and the sense of relatability this guy gives us, like whether it's in Pulp Fiction, Django, Jackie Brown, this film, Kill Bill, the sense of relatability that can be found in those films, despite how foreign those worlds are to the 90% population of this world, like, it's unbelievable, and it wows me every time. The sense of uniqueness amongst all these characters is beautiful. These these characters in this film are named after colors, for fuck's sake, but they are all so describable in their own unique ways. Mr. Pink, Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Orange, even Nice Guy Eddie. Like, one of the greatest opening scenes of all time is the opening scene we get in this one, where the opening sequence ends with these group of criminals having a breakfast before they're about to go on a bank robbery that goes awry, and they end up murdering a lot of people, whether it's civilians, a 20-year-old, or cops. They get to the bill. Joe Cabot, their boss, who's overseeing this operation, gets up to pay for the bill. He's like, "You guys got the tip." And he's like, "Everyone throw in $1." Everyone throws in $1. They get to Mr. Pink. He's like, "I don't believe in tipping." And I'm not going to butcher the scene, but what unfolds during that scene is masterful. And you can even see like an eager and happy Quentin Tarantino in this scene because he's in the film, seemingly smiling the whole way. And yeah, that's probably part of his character and the hilarious conversation they're having. But honestly, 50% of me thinks that 50% of his smile comes from his enjoyment of the scene that he wrote coming to life. And that's just what I think. And that scene is beautiful. It is hilarious. Even the scene where they're talking about Madonna living in a prayer and what it's about, it's like, this dialogue is so real. Even the scene where Mr. Orange is finally in the crew and Nice Guy Eddie, Mr. Pink, and Mr. White pick him up, and they're having this conversation about what's the difference between a black girl and a white girl, and who played who on that TV show. Was that Pam Grier or whatever? And the conversation and the laughter that is formed, that honestly seems authentic, is what makes Quentin Tarantino, the filmmaker, so powerful. I mean, there's so many different examples across all of his films where you can just point to the dialogue being the best part of them, and it is. And even in this film where there's so many great shots that you forget the first time you watch it, and you kind of maybe overlook because it's simply a film about a bank robbery going wrong that's mostly set in this one place. And that's really pretty much what you remember from the film. But then you watch it and watch it over again, and then you see all these beautiful first shots from his first film that he creates that are beautiful, and you can see the majesty and the brilliance that's going to be coming in his career soon. So it's like, man, can't get enough of it. Reservoir Dogs is a masterpiece to me, even though it's not Quentin Tarantino's best masterpiece. I think Quentin Tarantino has created at least four masterpieces. I think most of his films are great, and he's probably my favorite filmmaker. Like, if I had to make a Mount Rushmore filmmaker, it would be him. I might as well give you my Mount Rushmore right now. Like, my Mount Rushmore is Quentin Tarantino. I'm gonna do American filmmakers because I love foreign filmmakers. So I'm gonna do American because assume most of my audience is American. Most of my audience. There's only like fucking 13 people who are gonna watch this. Let's be honest. It's gonna be Martin Scorsese. Just probably the greatest American filmmaker of all time. Quentin Tarantino, probably my favorite American filmmaker of all time. Woody Allen. I know that's listen. Don't you throw your fucking phones at the screen or call me a bitch or whatever or a fucker. Woody Allen, listen, he's a sick fucker. Something's wrong with him, most likely. Woody Allen's one of the greatest American filmmakers of all time. Sue me. Steven Spielberg, I mean, the original summer blockbuster filmmaker, pure perfection. And then fifth, that's a tough one for me, but it'd probably have to be Billy Wilder, who is a forgotten fucking genius of this filmmaking shit, and that's my Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna have to make a video expanding upon my thoughts there, but that's my Mount Rushmore. And I know I just lost track of where I'm at in Reservoir Dogs, but I pretty much covered everything. This film is a beautiful culmination of someone's first work and a display of what they're passionate about and how much they know of the world of film, and he just brings it to life. I mean, the ups and downs in this film formulate into a beautiful payoff and a sheer brilliance of what makes film so great, and this film is an example of that. The intensity, the action, the mystery, the unveiling of the mystery that is done so brilliantly. I mean, there's a scene where Tim Roth, aka Mr. Orange, who's the undercover cop in this film, where he's rehearsing a story, a 4-page story that his mentor wrote for him to tell these group of guys that he has to convince that he's really a criminal. And the story he has to remember is, it's 1986, there's a drought in weed. He knows a girl that has a lot of weed. She asks him to sell it. He's like, okay, I get to keep 10%, and I get all the free weed I want. And she's like, yeah, if you do this deal for me. He's doing the deal where he has to sell a brick of weed. He's going to the train station or whatever station he's at. I forget that specifics of the story, but he's going to the train station. He uses the bathroom. What does he see in the bathroom? A group of cops with a canine that are just looking directly at him as he is going to use the bathroom. And even though this is a fake story, I forget it. It's a fake story as I'm watching this film. And I feel like a lot of people who love film and admire the great filmmaking of Quentin Tarantino and the great script that he's wrote realize, like, oh my god, this is fake, I forgot, while they're watching it. Because not only is the performance by Tim Roth and the storytelling by Tim Roth as he's telling the story to these group of guys, and Nice Guy Eddie, Joe Cabot, and Mr. White, aka Larry, and Harvey Keitel, like, as he's telling the story, you're like, oh shit, like, you're involved in the story. You're like, oh my god, like, oh yeah, this is fake, but I think it's real. And like, obviously we know it's fake, but for a large part of the storytelling by Tim Roth's character and Mr. Orange, you forget that it's fake, and you feel like it's real for a second. Then the end of the story comes, you're like, oh yeah, that's fake. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful on every fucking level. What Quentin Tarantino does here is the greatest film that any director has made for their first film. I mean, unless I'm blanking heavy here, it's the greatest film anyone has made on their first go. He wrote and directed this, and then he goes on to make a somehow better film in Pulp Fiction. Put that into perspective. He makes already a beautiful 5 out of 5 film for me, and then he goes on to make Pulp Fiction. And the first time I remember watching this film, my mom's in the living room. She's like, oh yeah, there's this Quentin Tarantino movie I haven't seen yet. I'm like, what? I'm young. I'm like, what? I haven't seen a Quentin Tarantino movie yet? Like, I'm pretty sure I went through all of them. This is like in late 2018 where I've seen Pulp Fiction. It's already had this big effect on my life. I've seen all the other films he's made after it. She's like, oh yeah, there's this film called Reservoir Dogs. And I just remember sitting there like, I'm watching a Quentin Tarantino film I haven't seen yet. And since then, it's had this huge effect on me that will be lifelong. It's beautiful from soundtrack to creation to performance. This film asks for everything you would want when you want a great film to watch and entertain you for, and it has the best runtime, 99 minutes, an hour and 29 minutes. Like, come on. 99 minutes, folks. So you get to watch that in an hour and 30 minutes. I think I just butchered that. I have to cut that out. This film has a perfect runtime. You can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong. Reservoir Dogs is one of my favorite films of all time. It is a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece, despite me thinking Pulp Fiction is the better film, because it is. So, like, I gave this a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Probably have to be 100 out of Letterboxd or 99, because I think Pulp Fiction is 100 out of 100. They can't get better than that. You can get slightly better than this. Like, there's only 6 films ahead of this film on my all-time favorite list. So yeah, Reservoir Dogs. I think I covered it all. Great performances. Shout out Chris Penn. Shout out Joe Cabot. Those two are the silent MVPs of this film. They're not silent because every time they're on screen, they're scene stealing and they're loud as hell. Michael Madsen, iconic. Everything about this film is iconic, and this film gets better every year I watch it. I'm glad I revisited it. It's been a while. It's been like 2 years since I watched it, which is crazy. I went to go log this film on Letterboxd, and I never even logged it. I'm like, what? I've never logged Reservoir Dogs? So that was kind of a happy experience for me. I'm like, I get to talk about Letterboxd for the first time on Letterboxd. I get to talk about Reservoir Dogs for the first time on Letterboxd. That's exciting. And now I'm talking to you guys about it. So, yeah, let's fucking go. Reservoir Dogs. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have seen it, rewatch it right now. And if you agree with a lot of the things I said in this video, like, comment, tell me you agree, or tell me I'm an idiot for even having this in my top 7 of all time. But anyway, yeah, that's me on Reservoir Dogs. Let me give you a little bit of channel update about what I'm going to do moving forward here. So obviously this is going to be a review and film channel. Like, I'm going to be doing reviews on new films coming out in this theater that I think are worth talking about. Honestly, I'll probably do a lot of the films that I see in theaters. I'm going to watch some films in theaters where it's just not worth talking about. So if you want to see the films that I watch and are not worth talking about on YouTube, check out my Letterboxd in the link below. But yeah, this is going to be a review channel on films I see in theaters, so that's one. I'm going to do revisiting of films that either left a bad taste in my mouth or I haven't seen in a while, or it's a film that I thought was really good in the past and it got better on the second watch since I revisited it. Another thing I'll be doing a lot in this video, top 10s, which I think is going to be my next video on this channel, which is going to be my top 10 of 2025 so far, which is going to be a fun list. So top 10s will be a big thing on this list. I'll do rankings of filmmakers and their films that they made, like a Quentin top 10, Scorsese top whatever. You get the gist. And then, hopefully, within this next year, hopefully a little bit sooner, I will be trying to drop a short film on this channel. Hopefully my audience on this channel will be bigger by then, and hopefully this channel will get a little more traction, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and I will be releasing a short film. Filmmaking is my passion, and sometimes you reach a point in your life where you're like, fuck it, I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to embarrass myself, because shit, if I don't fail, then I'll never know what I'm capable of. So that goes the same thing with this YouTube thing. Like, I love film. I love writing reviews on Letterboxd, but I wanted to create another outlet. Whether I get big or whether it stays small, whether it even gets medium, I will forever do this. Even if I somehow make it into the world of filmmaking, I will still do this, because guess what? I love films first and foremost, and I always want to be honest about them. I don't want to bullshit. Alright? So yeah, and also, spoiler alert for my YouTube career, already I've decided to make a second channel because I love sports. It will be mostly a football, UFC/MMA channel, NBA channel, college basketball. Like, I love sports. So I will be making a second channel. Guess what the name's going to be called? Matt Talk Sports. Like, Matt Talk Sports, how original. Tell me to go fuck myself in the comments. That's the end of this video. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Next video, top 10 of 2025. Tell me to go fuck myself in the comments.